The boutique was pristine. From the outside, it shimmered under the Southern California sun like a crystalline jewel box. Nestled on the elite stretch of Rodeo Drive, Maison Elaine was not just a story, it was a kingdom, a selective sanctuary that defined and enforced luxury with invisible lines. Only those who spoke the language of old money and pedigree could hope to be welcomed past its glass doors. Unspoken dress codes mattered more than words. That morning, Elena Harper had walked into the boutique wearing a simple white linen dress, the hem brushing her knees, her feet in worn leather sandals. Her hair was pulled back into a loose knot. No makeup, no designer bag, no chauffeur trailing behind her. To the staff inside Maison Elaine, she didn't read as wealth. She read as invisible. The store's front clerk, Avery Lind, barely glanced up as Elena entered. But when she did, her expression stiffened with immediate judgment. "Watch her," Avery muttered to her co-worker, Theo, as she leaned in slightly. "That type doesn't come to buy. She comes to steal." Or, at least, she pretended not to. She walked past polished mahogany shelves that held velvet trays of handcrafted jewelry. The air smelled of rare oud and polished marble. She made her way to the centerpiece of Astoria glass pedestal that displayed the prized item of the boutique's private collection, the La Rose Eternelle, a radiant pink diamond necklace surrounded by immaculate white diamonds, valued at over $12 million. Elena admired it quietly for a moment. Then, softly, she turned to the counter and addressed the saleswoman. "Excuse me," she said, her voice warm and composed. "I'd like to see that necklace, please." Avery's lips twitched, but the smile she offered was thin and brittle. "That necklace," she echoed with a performative laugh. "It's by appointment only. It's not something we just take out for window shoppers." "I understand," Elena said, not rising to the condescension. "But I'd still like to see it." Avery's smile faded. "Do you even know how much it costs?" she asked, loud enough to draw attention. "Or are you just here for the air conditioning?" Across the boutique, a few patrons snickered. One woman in a gold-trimmed suit muttered under her breath, "Must have taken a wrong turn out of farmer's market." Her name was Madison Kincaid, a socialite known as much for her inherited wealth as for her talent at cutting others down with a single glance. Another man nearby, dressed in an emerald blazer and glossy loafers, leaned over to a friend. "Bold," he murmured, eyeing Elena's sandals. "No appointment. No dior. No clue." Elena remained composed, but she could feel the humiliation like a slow heat rising in her chest. She reached into her linen tote knot for her wallet, but for breath, for grounding. Inside was a small notebook and a worn photo of her and her husband, Oliver, laughing on their wedding day. Elena had spent years working for a global literacy foundation. She'd helped build schools in countries others couldn't pronounce. Now, at 36, she'd stepped away to focus on community-centered philanthropy. Her husband's success was the founder and CEO of a billion-dollar logistics company was never something she wielded as a weapon or badge. Their lifestyle was intentional, modest by choice. But today, she had walked into Maison Elaine not to make a statement, not to draw eyes. She came to buy that necklace, a 10-year anniversary gift, a symbol of a journey they had walked together, one that began with secondhand furniture and dinners of instant noodles. Still, no one in the boutique saw any of that. They only saw her sandals, her absence of gloss. "Hey," a voice barked. It was Theo, the other sales associate, stepping forward with a slight sneer. "Ma'am, if you're not purchasing anything, I'm going to have to ask you to browse elsewhere. Preferably outside." A few phones discreetly rose to capture the moment. "She doesn't belong here," someone whispered. Madison Kincaid and her entourage snickered. Maybe she thought this was a museum exhibit. Laughter erupted. A coin clinked on the marble floor. Madison had tossed it at Elena's feet. "For your bus fare," she said with a smirk. Elena's hand tightened around her tote. Her knuckles turned white, but her voice never trembled. "I'm not here to cause trouble," she said simply. But it didn't matter. The judgment had already taken root. Then, from the far corner, the store's security guard, a broad-shouldered man named Bruno, approached. "Ma'am," he said, voice deliberately loud, "I need you to open your bag." Elena blinked. "Excuse me." "Store protocol," Bruno said. "You're not a known client. It's for everyone's safety." Around her, phones filmed. She opened the tote slowly. Notebook, pen, photo. Bruno looked unimpressed. "Keep it where I can see it," he ordered. More whispers. More snickers. "Definitely casing the place," someone said. "She's probably scouting for a knockoff seller. She looks like she'd sell fake diamonds out of a trunk." Elena didn't respond. She closed her bag, turned, and walked toward the exit with quiet, controlled steps. Outside, the sun still shone. The world kept moving. But inside her, something had cracked. She stepped to the side of the entrance, pulled out her phone, and sent a message. "They wouldn't even let me see it. I'm okay. Just let me know when you're nearby." And then she waited. 29 minutes later, a deep rumble hushed the street. A black Rolls-Royce Phantom pulled to a smooth stop in front of Maison Elaine. The boutique's valet nearly dropped his clipboard. The back door opened, and Oliver Harper stepped out. He wore a crisp black suit. Naughty. His eyes steel blue, focus swept across the storefront like a storm warning. A man who didn't need to raise his voice to command a city block. Elena stepped from the other side, still in her white dress, still carrying her tote. The boutique's doors opened like they had never before opened for anyone like her. Inside, the atmosphere shifted. Avery froze. Theo dropped a tray. Even Madison Kincaid's smile faltered. Oliver walked to the counter. His voice was low, measured. "Is the staff member who humiliated my wife still on shift?" The question hung in the air like a guillotine. A manager appeared from the back, a man named Rene Duval, his tie askew. "Mr. Harper, I apologize. This is a complete misunderstanding." "No," Oliver said calmly. "This is who your brand is." He turned to Elena. "Show them," he said. Elena stepped forward, opened her tote, and pulled out the printed transfer authorization from their bank. Rene's hands trembled as he opened the display case. Avery, pale, stepped back like she'd touched fire. He lifted the necklace and handed it to Oliver. Oliver turned to Elena. With care, he placed the necklace around her neck. "She never needed to prove she belonged here," he said. "But now, she never has to ask again." The silence in the boutique was absolute. Rene fired Avery and Theo on the spot. Bruno was reassigned. Madison Kincaid left in a hurry, her followers watching the drama unfold in real time on livestream. The video hit the internet within the hour, and then it went viral. The woman in linen. Clips from security footage. Photos of Avery sneering. Theo laughing. Bruno sorting her bake. Overlaid with, "They thought she didn't belong." Then her husband arrived. Twitter exploded. TikTok turned her into a hero. Her dignity, her grace, her quiet refusal to stoop praised as the embodiment of true power. Maison Elaine's Yelp page crashed under a flood of one-star reviews. Major clients withdrew. Designers pulled inventory. Sponsors backed out. Oliver and Elena made no statement. They didn't have to. 3 weeks later, the couple held a press conference. Elena stood behind a podium wearing the same white linen dress. Her tote rested on the table beside her. No ULD, no muck-up, just her. She announced the Harper Foundation's new initiative, the Atelier Grant, seated with $12 million, the full price of the necklace. The grant would fund scholarships, legal support, and leadership programs for women discriminated against in luxury and corporate spaces. The press called her the Grace Billionaire, not because of her wealth, but because of her restraint, her dignity, her unwavering calm. Maison Elaine shuttered its Rodeo Drive flagship within 6 months. The chandeliers went dark. The rose diamond necklace went on permanent display at the Museum of Social Change in Los Angeles, renamed the Harper Rose. Madison Kincaid lost her brand deals. Avery was blacklisted from luxury retail. Theo ended up at a strip mall jewelry kiosk. Bruno changed industries altogether. But Elena? She rose. Not for revenge. Not for vindication. But because she believed that no one, no matter how they dress, where they come from, or how they look, should be treated as less. She wore linen. But she carried steel, and the world finally saw her shine.